Let's do it live.
Hello. Okay. Yes, we're live because
Let's do it live.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Yes.
We were cleaning the channel, and it just went off.
Yep. So
it was an accident.
We're awaiting the aftermath of last week's episode. The episode 4 was the gold and the red, where there were multi-dragons in the air fighting with each other.
Let's throw it to Westeros Sports Center with Outlaw Bill and Admiral Teague. Well, Outlaw Bill, we saw quite the display last week where Sir Criston Cole's army, prepared to take on other men and lay siege, perhaps to Harrenhal, was assailed from the air by Queen Rhaenys and her dragon. What would you say her strategy was in doing this? She was seeking conflict with King Aegon.
Yeah, she was.
Now, King Aegon and her were locked in combat, fairly indeterminate. I think Rhaenys, the older combatant, was showing the experience and mettle of her ways. She was going to end up probably winning that conflict. And you can see that maybe we don't know this yet.
Yeah, she was
doing all right, though. She was doing all right until Aemon shows up.
Yeah, and then bit the neck of Maestyn.
Well, no, a couple of things go wrong. Is first, he pulls a kill steal on Rhaenys and burns up the other dragon that his brother's on. That dragon survives its precipitous fall and rights itself right before it hits the ground. But it's a BFD. And hey, everybody, do us a favor. If you tweet out that we're live, we're a little early. We're a little bit eager. I know that when we were doing our Hot D research, it was fun. Like this is the one show that is never a big deal to do the research for or to prepare for. It's the other show that is a little more difficult to enjoy and do the research for. A show that will remain nameless. The other episode is still playing, or is this the catch up from last week?
No, this is
a similar situation. Trent Biden is younger.
We're still waiting for the new episode to drop. This is the season 1. Yeah, this is the season 1, episode 3.
Well, everybody, it's really nice that you're here. It's great to have you. Hello, Radioactive. Hello, Sci-Fi Mombi. It's good to see both of you. If you could, cut loose with some tweets here, let people know we're around, that would help out. If not, hey, that's cool too. No big deal. I didn't even get around to tweeting this stream because we were early. I did tweet one out earlier today, but you know what? Here we are. We are early and we have video, so we should do okay. We are strong. Last week was a great episode. We had Criston Cole's army was pretty much fried. I don't know what the kill count on that was. We saw a bunch of fire strafing runs on them by Queen Rhaenys, but we don't know what's left of his army. They take a fucking beating. That's all we really know.
Well, sorry, Josh. You cannot get that time back. You can't get that time back. You have to. You'll just have to deal with it, and like the Mr. Trump yesterday shook his fist in adversity. Yeah.
We're gonna try to keep this one with Westeros, but we're glad that we're sad that people died there, and we would obviously the best case scenario would have been that none of this had happened at all. We wish speedy recovery to the former president. Moving on to Westeros politics. We saw what could be a sea change in the power structure over there. Looks like Prince Aemon is ready to make a move on King, because I don't think his brother's going to show up to talk to anybody about what happened, because he got his ass kicked and sort of handed to him. What are you monkeying around with the Cosme or something? I'm having a hard time understanding why.
No, no.
Oh, okay. Well, drink a little coffee and let's get with this. We've got a show to broadcast.
Yeah. Tegan, yeah. Aegon is burned. He is burned.
Oh, Aegon would have definitely gotten burned. We saw him getting torched up. In fact, when we rewatched the episode, we saw a slight mistake in what they call continuity. The dragon homes in on him, and he's like, "Hello, brother," or whatever. He's like all happy, and then like he sees the tab's actually going to be an attack, and he puts his hand, he covers his eyes with his arm, and then we cut away for a moment, and then when we cut back, we see him covering his eyes with his arm again. So they accidentally duplicated that gesture, but he got torched up real good. He seems to have survived. I can believe you know what? How could it drive him crazy when he was already a crazy dick? His people hated him. His problem with his people was that they called him like Aegon the asshole or something like that. He was very, very weak. He was irresolute. He didn't manage his resources well. He was bad at guns and butter, and people had enough of him. And he kind of needed this war to shore up his popularity. His sister, the ex-queen, did a better job than him. Nobody's thinking that he's doing great at this. And you know what? I don't think too many people are going to miss him. He fired Otto Hightower, Hand of the King, who everyone's trying to explain to him is a much smarter, better, and more well-suited advisor than any of the yes men he's brought in. And he never learned how to speak High Valyrian. So we don't know if he can control his dragon as well. We do know this. The dragons and the riders have some kind of 5G link up, and his was not working so good, and he was drunk. So, do we know anything about how that might affect his dragon? Would his dragon also have been affected by that? Would his dragon be wasted?
Yeah, he was a little bit upset after the Battle of Rook Stress, even though he realized he messed up big time.
Well, we're glad to have you guys here, and we're glad to have come out of the gate early. We got about 17 minutes before this episode drops. I've been catching up on past House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones stuff, and let me tell you, one thing I've noticed in every episode we watch is if you go over and touch your faction map, if you fuck with your faction's D&D map, you're inviting disaster. You're gonna die. You're gonna get what you deserve. We saw it happen last week. King Aemon touched it. King Aegon touched it, and he's in trouble now. A couple weeks before that, someone else touched theirs. They're dead. Queen Rhaenys, she was messing around with hers. How's she doing? She is definitely, without any doubt, dead. Her dragon was dead when it fell. The dragon that had King Aegon on it was messed up but alive when it fell from the sky. It couldn't fly anymore. Dragons inherently are terrible at flying. They sort of throw themselves through the air. They need a lot of ground to take off, and they could give a shit about what's between them and getting into the air. If they have to crush half an army to do it or beat some people to death with their wings, they just will. If they have to run to the middle of a barn to do it, they just will. They don't care. It's not the kind of thing that stops them because they have to sort of build up enough velocity to get airborne again. And a lot of times when they attack each other, they'll lose a lot of altitude and they'll kind of like just barely recover right before they hit the ground. So altitude is a factor here, visibility a factor here. A lot of stuff going on in Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. And we're just about ready to take a look at this week's episode when it drops. And I don't know, did last year's episodes also have like a explanation after them, or is this going to just continue going on until we go live so that there's Bill? Hello? I don't know if Bill's having mic issues, not getting the best communication, but we are.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
there well, welcome back.
Yes, I'm
Hello.
here.
Hello. The heroin guy get there? Yeah, right. Jeez. Well, there goes monetization. Did last season also have these like little after parties after the episode to explain to us what went on, or is this going to keep going on for the duration? Just have 13 minutes of story left. Welcome, everybody. You had a lot of choices tonight. We're really pleased that you made us your Game of Thrones viewing area. If you could spread the word, let people know we're here. We're doing our best to cover this in an entertaining manner. And what can I tell you? We have had a lot of fun with these characters to this point. The show has exceeded other shows because in part the bar for entertainment really has dropped in the last couple of years. We have seen some awful stuff. This show so far really is getting by doing things that you would think are obvious. For instance, an effect sequence that takes place in visible area. Bill, are you back? Would you like to comment on that? Hello? Well, obviously a little worried right now about what's going on the other end of the connection here, but what can I do but wait for my compadre to open up the mic or private chat me about what's going on. It could be apparently a technical issue. I just don't know. We'll find out. But welcome all of you to House of Dragons Season 2, Episode 5, where I, Admiral Teague, and my buddy Outlaw Bill will be bringing you the action and the play-by-play. Bill, are you muted? Because I cannot hear you. Well, we'll find out what's going on, maybe. But for the moment, let's do a little bit of a catch up on what we've been through so far. We have had a Byzantine path since the episode modeled on the chapter Bread and Cheese. We have had to listen to them say that, I'm sorry, Blood and Cheese. And we've had to listen to them say that in a very self satisfied and smug manner about 35 times in every catch up after episode 1. When we get with the people who write the show. They do a little outro and they tell us exactly what went on rather than waiting for the internet to leak it to us. And okay, so now it's just me. We're gonna find out what's going on. I'm gonna go look over on X and see if I got anything. Maybe a local internet outage or something going on with Outlaw. I was not able to hear him there for a while. Hopefully everything okay on his end. I'm checking the X now. Let me just see if he's able to communicate. Sorry, guys, just Xing my co-host here to make sure everything's okay. We still look like we got more than enough. Good thing we went on early because look what happened. Wow. Hello, everybody. It's your buddy, Admiral Teague. You got any questions? Got anything you want to talk about while we wait for Outlaw Bill to return? We will see if he's able to pull it off. We'll be giving it every minute we can. In the meanwhile, we have another show. This week is, well, today, Sunday, is Bill and Teague's Excellent Adventure, where we watch House of the Dragon, aka affectionately known as Hot D. And other days we have our other show, which is called Bill and Teague's Bogus Journey, where we watch a show called The Acolyte, which is not quite as good as this. Now, while we wait to see if things get sorted out, the episode in the theater has ended. Here we have the R.I.P. Rainus, Rip Rainus. That almost came out really bad. But in Outlaw Bill's theater, we'll see what's going on soon enough. I don't know if he's able to rejoin me. Do I have a message from Outlaw Bill? Nope. We have no information at this time. I guess if anybody is in Tucson, which is the town he lives in Arizona, if you know if the internet's down in Tucson, Google that one for me. Let me know, because it seems to be that I have lost my co-host and our source of video, which would make for a very difficult transmission of this episode. But who knows? He may be with us, at least in spirit. We're going to wait till drop time to see what's up. And hello out there. Hello, Nelco. It's good to see. Thank you. We are trying our best, although I'm hello, Positive Candor, and hello, Josh Street. Did I send the Faceless Men after Bill? Well, I have several groups of Faceless Men I could send. I have the Faceless Men from the X-Files that can turn everyone into a ball of screaming fire. I have the Faceless Men from 6th Avenue of the Americas, who can do some pretty terrible things. And then I have, of course, the Faceless Men who would be Faceless Men in the face of the facelessness. Now, while all this is going on, I see that my co-host has returned.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I had to reboot. I had to reboot.
You're still roboting a little bit.
That's all.
You missed such great jokes as Outlaw Bill will return as soon as he gets the broken needle in his arm fixed and gets some better black tar. That's the thing with being on black tar heroin, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be like Outlaw Bill. I'm glad you're okay. I was wondering if you had an internet outage, but the thing was, there was indeterminate weird sounds before you went away. So it was like I could hear like a sound here and a sound there, at least with the headphones. It didn't sound like distress, but I thought I could hear like guttural noises. Maybe the mic was working intermittently, and I was like, it sounded like maybe you needed a Heimlich or something. And I'm like, I'm never going to get to Tucson in time to help this guy. And I'm sick and tired of you bullshitting me about the city you live in. Tucson, there's no name. We all know that Tucson is spelled Twosahn, Tucson. It's the letter 2. Right? Like the letter that comes in the alphabet between 1 and 3. It's the letter 2, Sahn, Tucson. That's how Tucson. You live in Tucson. It's a town outside of Tucson. But no, we all know Tucson. It's the letter 2 followed by the letter A. The letter S, the letter A, the letter H, and the letter N. We all know that. But you know what? It's the only city in America that zip code is part of its name. Did you know that? Except, of course, for Beverly Hills 90210, to which I say, take a moment with us for a moment of silence. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Brenda and Dylan from Beverly Hills 90210 together again. Rip Shannon Doherty. She was so beautiful. She was so talented. She had a great speaking voice. She had great acting ability. She was great in Heathers. She was such an enchantingly beautiful, charming woman, if you would. And we're all going to miss her. Rest in peace, Shannon Doherty. Gone too soon. I will always love you as Brenda, and you're with Luke Perry again. The tragedy of Cursed Show 90210. Jenny Garth, be careful. Don't smoke or anything like that. Wow. But that one, put in an S for Shannon there. Real shame. Right. Lost to all of us. I don't know. I thought she was the cutest girl on 90210. What about you, Outlaw?
And no, not so much. I didn't like her so much.
More of a Jenny Garth man.
Yeah.
No?
So
Yeah.
she was
Yeah.
blonde, right? She was a
She was
blonde, right?
She was one of two blondes. One was Tori Spelling, and she dressed a little more seductively, but she kind of had like a horsey face. She was the blonde who was like, she had a cute body, but she kind of looked like she was drawn by Matt Groening. She had like no lower jaw, really. Like she had like no, she was like almost chinless. She was cute though. She was really cute, but she looked a bit like a Simpson. Or did you like Gabriella Carteris? Andrea, remember Andrea, Gabriella Carteris?
Oh
But
God,
wait,
hell no!
yeah.
Hell no!
Think about this. Gabriella Carteris is like 63 years old now. It's crazy.
Holy hell!
But we welcome you all. Hello, Nelco. Hello, Positive Candor. Hello, Josh Street. Hello to Admiral T. You remind me of myself. Great avatar there, guy. But as you can see, last week we had what would be a real demonstration that this show doesn't have a pacing problem, and that we would probably be, based on everything we've seen, it would be crazy to expect an insane action-packed episode this week, wouldn't you say? We need to throttle down and absorb what happened. That seems to be the show's method of dealing with things, but they do use the things that people use to cheap out completely and give you a bad CGI scene. They actually use them rather well to extend the CGI scene. I don't know how you feel, Outlaw.
Hail, Positive Candor. Good to see you.
Hello to you, Positive Candor. You know what, Outlaw? I have noticed that we've used stuff like cloud cover and darkness very well to extend the scenes rather than making things dark and murky. Have we had scenes that were outright dark and murky? There was a scene that was just like pure like spectacle where Matt Smith is staring straight at us and his dragon rears up behind him and like blasts a plume of fire in the air and he doesn't even turn around to look at it. You know what I mean? It was real rock star. That was murky as shit. So I'm like, okay, so that's what the show's going to be like. But then like briefly thereafter, we saw the end of last season's episode. They used the murkiness to just extend their money. The dragons were chasing each other through the clouds. And I think it's possibly the first good use of deceptive CGI to lower the detail I've ever seen, because one guy's flying in the clear between like two layers of clouds and the other dragon's like flying circles around him, scaring him. And we never really get a good look at it. But when the other dragon flies underneath him, it's like he's obscured by clouds, but he's like 4 times bigger. And we still get a good look at the dragon on top. So it's not terrible when they go cheap.
Hello, John the Beagle, the dad, and the lovely
Sherry, our friend from Queens.
Good to see you.
What's going on, yo? Lovely Sherry gets a New York City hello. Yo, Sherry!
To drop here.
We're reviewing the episodes of last week where we think that King Aemon II's alive. That's my personal feeling. Outlaw?
No. I think he's
okay.
He's still alive.
Oh, lovely Sherry has responded.
Very burnt.
Queen's way.
Very toasted, though.
Oh, I think he's coming back looking something like the album cover for Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind, because he was already a brainless idiot. And like one thing, we still don't know this. If you've read the books and you can give us a definitive answer, tell us. If you're wasted when you get on your dragon, is your dragon affected by the fact you're wasted? Or is it just drunk dragon driving? Because it definitely doesn't help him. King Aemon was Teague. I already spoiled the end of the show last week for you. You know what? It's okay. There was no spoiling that ending. Last week's episode was pure spectacle. It was it was grandiose without having a pompousness to it. It was true grandiosity. I was impressed by the spectacle. There were no horrible mistakes, and our boy Sir Corbin, he certainly had to come face to face with his limitations. He may have been a competent leader of a land army, and he avoided a couple of bad confrontations. It leaves us to this week to find out how much of his army survived. He was being fairly smart, or the show just didn't have the best location, but The thing is, he knows if you run into the forest, you can kind of keep the dragon from devastating your entire army. You can run into the forest, and that's kind of air protection. And then you can sort of snipe away at the dragon from the edge of the woods. And let's see, Teague, if you're drunk, when you get behind the wheel, is the car drunk or just you? Here's the thing, though, Josh. When we see people getting ready to jump on their dragons, we sometimes see their eyes sort of get washed over or glitch out, like they go Sith on them. And it seems like them and the dragons are connected. So while what you're saying is absolutely valid and makes perfect sense, I'm saying, like, how affected is the dragon by the fact that King Aegon is drunk? Is he just giving it commands late, or is their shared state of mind clouding the dragon's judgment? That's because I don't know.
No, I think the dragons have the mind of their own. They just follow the lead of the rider.
So what's with the 5G link? It's just it's not as it's overblown. It's just a really good physical effect.
It's like a bond,
Okay, so it's a little less intense. It's not a shared consciousness. It's just you're very close and you're activating like closeness level 2 to be part of your dragon or something like that to take part in the battle. And we saw there's a lot to it. You got to know how to readjust the straps.
Are you ready for? Are you ready for the next episode of season 2?
Oh, hey, it's available. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you could watch this on 2 devices, you would really be helping me and my partner Outlaw Bill out. We live in a small shack in a gulch, in a valley, in a box canyon, in the desert, behind an arsenic creek. We have to ride for hours every morning just to get water. So, if you give us a like, that really helps us out. If you tweet out that we're live, that really helps us out too. Even though you'd think that 2 desperados like me and Outlaw Bill would be better off with no one knowing, we bring them on. Bring on the bounty hunters. We've got House of the Dragon. We got Hot Tea. You guys can watch it with us. And you know what? The only thing you have to do is just please, hit like, watch on another device to preserve our view. Or if you could, tweet out that we're here. And with that, we have spared you commercial for the game, which I'm sure is a great game, but boy, am I tired of hearing about the Game of Thrones phone game. And here goes the recap. I need some volume. Hold on. That's me.
Unless the dragon's drunk. Josh Street.
King Aegon would have gotten to that point. Alcoholism of aggressive disease. I just would not make Matt Smith mad. See? When you start messing around with your factions D&D table, you are fucked. See all these people? Bad things happen to them for doing this.
Yeah.
I think I found a meme within the show or a trope within the show. She started fucking with the stuff on the table too.
We had a great dragon battle last week.
You missed a great dragon battle and had great dragon strategy, by the way. This guy let the other 2 dragons beat on each other for a while before he made his move. So this is how we know that Queen Rhaenys didn't make it. And there's the knife that his father had. It's the thumbnail for my side of this. And I welcome you all. Who we got?
Yes.
Who in my house of the dragon?
Welcome.
Whose house? Teague's house of the dragon.
Hello, Jedi Master Raven. Howdy.
Hello there. Hi, Jedi Master Raven. The real question is, at what point the 11th Doctor take a detour to become a Targaryen? Oh, I think when he saw the end of the original Game of Thrones, he's like, I must go back in time and repair this with profanity and violence. And he brings both, guys.
Yes, Josh. It is that same dagger. It ends up in Arias.
We have gone 2 weeks now, 3 weeks without. No, actually, he is profanity free this season, isn't he? Matt Smith.
Yeah. He's been long absent since the damn Rat King fired his ass.
Oh, you're talking about
I
Otto
know some
Hightower.
people usually get fired. Oh, with this show, you can, when you say fire, you can fire him literally. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Sorry about I had some technical difficulties, but we're back. I'm back.
It's because he's a bad person, ladies and gentlemen. Don't ever believe for 1 second that he had internet difficulty. The poll is live. Will Matt Smith curse this week? There's only 3 possibilities: yes, no, and yes, but in a dream. If he curses in a dream, I feel like the need to curse builds up within the character. And here we have our favorite character, my favorite character. He mirrors. He wasn't supposed to be torn from the headlines in this book written in the 70s, but here he is, Dreadlock Biden, the incompetent, tuned-out king.
He already knows the aftermath. How would he already know? That rape, rapists in this world, they travel real fast.
Bad news travels fast. You know what? The dragon's overdue. That's one thing. The dragon's overdue. And he has sexy time with that old lady all the time, which I didn't think she was a bad actress, but I'm not going to miss sexy time between Dreadlock Biden and Helen Mirren's like older sister. I'm just not. I mean, it's good to know that I'll still be having sex when I reach that age.
Here we are at the capital of King's Landing.
As you can see, like, they're showing people doling out food because we know that, like, things are a little bit stressed by what's going on in Westeros. Now, this is Rhaenys's dragon's head.
Yeah, Meleys.
No one cheers King Aegon. People are kind of hoping he's dead. He knows his people don't like him. His nickname was like Aegon the Merciless Douchebag. But I want to say again, I think the actor who plays Aegon is great. Whenever we see the actor after an episode, he is totally with it and together. He's a totally different person, and he's got a complete vision for his character. You gotta like the actor.
The head's still smoking.
It's still smoking. It's a wreck. I'm trying to wonder if it's smoking because of some part of its sinuses emit the fire. Everybody's quiet and freaked out at this victory parade. This is as weird as the victory parade the Japanese imperial government threw the day after the atomic bombing, right? Like, it's just not appropriate.
It looks like they have a body in the casket there.
They've got Queen Rhaenyra. Would be my guess. No, he said, I thought the dragons was gods, but, and by the way, do we need subtitles?
Oh.
Did we need to get those? Guys, we're going to pause for a moment. We'll give you a time code. Just to give you an idea of what's going on here, though, our boy, King Aegon, he is such a dick that after the successful assassination of one of his children, he successfully managed to capture one of the assassins, but unfortunately, he ignored the advice of the Hand of the King and bashed the guy's brains in before he got all the information out of him. So all he found out was the guy had a partner, and he found out that partner's profession, and then he went nuts and just beat him to pieces. That might be Aegon's coffin. We don't know. Is it Aegon or Rhaenys? There's no reason for them to have that coffin-like box, and we're assuming it's a coffin. They're carrying it like one, though.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Outlaw Bill has been continuing his disruptive behavior at the watch party, but what can we do, folks? We try. Look at that look. That is Aegon, and they're doing it so no one will see how badly burned the king is. I had suspected maybe he was being born in a litter. That's why I walked back a coffin. Although maybe they'd be a little more interested in getting him out of it. Okay. Now let's see if this version of the story keeps him alive, because we've seen TV shows move away from the book before. All right, so the one of him is alive, and he doesn't look as bad as he should, but he looks pretty bad. This, of course, saddens me because this character, although I hated the character, when he was on screen, it was a laugh riot because he was such an asshole. Oh, it's very Darth Vader, isn't it? It's Revenge of the Sith, isn't it? So Alicent is absolutely freaked out by the horror she's witnessing. And who could blame her? She did try a little bit to prevent this. She went and talked to the other faction. Couldn't get it worked out. Now, you had said that this is his mother, but it's actually his sister, isn't it? Am I right on that one, Outlaw? Right? She was queen and in charge for a little while, and then when he came of age, it was handed off to him, something like that, or half sister, something like that. Okay, Bill, yeah, are you okay? Medieval Vader would work. Ooh, yeah. The real question is at what point. Oh, okay, I read that one. Teague is giving you. This is giving you flashbacks when Bill cut off your arm and legs before you left that lava river. Yes, exactly. Bill, he cheated in that, by the way. He had the high ground, and he goaded me into that one. That was mostly his fault. And that's why I have to mute the mic a lot, because I'm a very heavy breather, thanks to Bill. Sunfire was long. Okay, so Sunfire is officially on your scorecard. Sunfire did not make it. Took him a long time to die, though. His Grace fought valiantly. Yeah, he charged in like a drunken idiot. He had his dragon muscles and his beer muscles. Ooh, she's going to be told now how this went down, huh?
Yeah.
He was the doer, Your Majesty.
Of course he won't say. He done fucked up. This Rook's Rest was the smallest little place.
Wow, he's basically saying leave war to the men.
Yeah.
I would say this. The men are trained for war. She's trained for politics. This is a time for war. When they get to the point where they start negotiating, her skill set comes more back in. And you notice how she was very careful not to touch anything on the table, and everybody kind of heard me. They're like, "Let's not touch shit on the D&D table," because everyone who does that,
you're leaning into that a little bit too much there, T.
what we're gonna find out, aren't we?
We are. Good question. Good question. What would you have her do? Burn them all? It's weird that a Targaryen has black hair. Targaryens are notorious for having blonde hair or white.
I think we're going to see a merging of the factions, right? They're going to merge the people who have the white hair, because not all these people make it to the Game of Thrones milieu of houses.
What are you saying now, Josh?
He's likening me to Anakin. He doesn't know the extent of my new powers. You know what, Josh? I have brought peace and security to my new empire.
Oh, here we go. Ooh.
All right, guys, I'm changing the poll question. Here we go. If you lived in Westeros, would you touch your faction's Dungeons and Dragons map?
You asked for it. Oh man, you didn't get burned. Wow, he's being quite political here, isn't he?
He's not that dumb.
Exactly the kind of men he needs.
Doctor Who, the medieval years. The dragon is bigger on the inside. Teague, the bigger question is, says Josh Street, are we moving miniatures in a D&D campaign? They're using that imagery as part of the milieu of the show to move it along. Every single faction has a D&D table. Bill, am I right?
In a way, a matter of speaking, yes, and no. Yes. But yeah.
They have a map of Westeros that shows where they are in relation to everyone else. And we saw one person trash their table and then they died. We saw King Aegon go moving pieces around on the table and he got torched up in Kentucky Fried.
Oh, here we are at
Queen Rhaenys moved stuff on her faction table and she died.
This castle has a moon door.
Help me out there. Oh, they didn't negotiate very well. They got brand new dragons. If this in the RPG that is this kingdom, you now have like 20 years of dragon management to deal with before it's useful. I like how they're like, don't worry, the dragons will be, they'll get bigger. And she's like, basically pointing out that she'll be 60 by the time they're really usable. And she's young. I mean, if they grow at any kind of rate, I mean, how long does it take for these things to become weaponizable? And if you're here for the first time, it'd be great if you join my channel. If you get a chance, hit the like and follow. That'd be great too.
Indeed.
We would be very grateful.
Are those big enough there for you? The words?
Yeah, I can read them. Unlike when we watch Disney Plus and they're written, they don't want you to know what's going on, so the transcript is so miserably small.
Yeah.
That you can't make it out. Try to present that for a little while, if you would. Sad she doesn't have the type of Lady Arn blonde hair. Teague, that is a tabletop war game, not a D&D. Yes, I understand. They're playing. I get it. It's shorthand. Hey, Bill, can you present what I presented, or for a while?
Yeah.
This way we could do some catch up. How's that? Thank you.
Yep.
We need votes, people. Exercise democracy here.
Oh yeah, how's that? How's that?
Their theme song is pretty good. It has more impact with the new beginning, but their incidental music is so strong and it carries something. Like, we just had a couple minutes people walking around, but because money was spent in other areas for good incidental in-world music, I felt included in that scene and I felt invested in it. And you know what? Hey, what's going on, Tim? Good to see you. Want to thank everybody for the likes.
Yeah,
A
but
few more would be
really,
great.
we really like it if you comment.
Commenting is great.
Come back
Please
and
leave
leave
a comment.
Yeah.
Tweet out the stream. Let people know we're live.
And I mean, not
That helps.
comments in the chat. Comments.
We like those too.
Yeah.
But
Comments
yeah,
after the fact.
but comments after the fact are like a pure hit of crack to YouTube.
Oh yeah.
They love that shit. But YouTube is really fickle. They'll take our view away. If you're watching on one device, we get it. You know, you can't watch both. You can't keep both browsers open, really. But if you're listening to us, but the browser's closed, they take that right away from us. That doesn't count. And they make a lot of money that way, let me tell you. Don't you love working for a company that has evil salary control? Yeah, he's a swordsman, all right, with that hot chick. Oh, I don't like that they're blurring this for tasteful reasons. We killed enough people. It's time for some sex. It's a balanced day, right? Can we pull the camera back a little?
The what? Oh.
The camera, yeah. Just her fun bits are hidden.
He's being tricked. I think his mind's right.
Well, he's in that bed that's made of wood that has someone's soul in it. Remember?
Yeah.
He got that warning from the crazy-eyed but kind of hot lady who works in the kitchen. And I was like, is he going to screw her? Is he going to kill her? Like, which one is it?
Man, he just loses his mind here at Heron Hall.
There's something wrong with the place.
I would not want to be staying in a place like that.
You don't want to hang out there. No, it's
No.
a shithole. It's a shithole. This episode really, after what we had before last week, I knew it was going to be slower, but are we really going to talk about like the cost of upkeep on our freaking
On our
on our
castle?
Iron Throne castle? Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it'd be great if we could have some medieval carpenters come by here and redo this floor. And that bathroom, it hasn't been, it still works and stuff, but it hasn't been redone since the 60s. It's crazy. Matt Smith is on Shutter Island. Yeah, there's something very Twilight Zone-ish about this place. But the thing is, all these other people exist here and know it. Like, maybe they just don't sleep in the coffin wood bed or whatever the hell they gave Matt Smith that's making him go kooky. Because the weird lady told him, "Oh, you sleep in the coffin wood bed, you'll have like freaky dreams." But that hasn't stopped him. I don't know about you, but if a crazy woman tells me that I'll stop having nightmares if I don't sleep in the bed made from with the soul of a dead person in it, I probably listen to her. Her eyes were crazy enough. So he's not really king. He just bangs the queen, so he's king consort. But that's how that works in regal time. And if you don't have power, you're just a king consort.
Did you see how, man, the king is really messed up? I don't know why they're keeping him around. Why don't they just kill him off?
Someone is going to kill him. I'm sure.
What? Why is plot armor keeping him around for?
You know what I want someone to do? Like Oral Not Somebody. Can we get like Flight of Icarus with like King Aegon? Fly on your way.
Yeah, take the skies and you'll make some toast out of you.
All right, these people in this faction love to mess around with this like stone balls, these stone balls inside of these weird ceramic saucers. It's so weird, but this is what they do while they kind of connive. When they speak of the Sneak, they're talking about Lord Corliss, aka Dreadlock Biden, who is now a power broker in this whole thing, but we just haven't seen much of him. Yeah, it's been days. Cut down the rat catchers, please. It's only been
my God,
the bodies
can you imagine the smell?
I don't think it was. I think it smells probably horrible, but I think it was only like a day or two because the events are happening fast. Like it took a day or two to hunt up the guys. They hung everyone the day after that. Then like maybe 2 days later was the Dance of the Dragon. So yeah, it's like day 4. It's like please cut down the rat catchers. I mean, I get it. This show delivered a lot, but we are going really slow in this episode, and I don't know if we're getting enough of value. I want to see the King at least all Iron Maidened out. Give me some horror at least. We had a chance to do that.
Yeah. So how anxious are you for that other show? I can tell you I have zero.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Acolyte. Because if this episode ends it.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Wait a minute. They were already dead. You hung them.
That upload that we did together, we might have to do another one after the next episode of the Acolyte, and then then they'll probably that'll be a. We have to figure out what's going to be the future of Disney for this network of ours. Whether we're going to split it between us or we're going to like let it fall by the wayside. It's hard to say. Like there's not a lot of views to make it worth one person buying. We're going to have to think about that one. The Acolyte doesn't do half as well as this. But then again, the Acolyte has us more engaged with our audience because everybody's laughing up a storm. It's hard to say what the experience is. Maybe the giant marbles are a medieval executive stress relief desk toy. That is honestly what they look like. The kind of thing like the HR guy has on his desk when he's lowering the boom on you. It's like, so, listen, decision's been made. And it's just like, you're looking at this weird, like he's got like that and like some innocuous like Michael Jordan, like nothing but net kind of picture behind him too. It's like, that says like leadership or something.
How are you still alive, Cole? Why are you not executed?
I don't know if he did much, but get caught out in the open as he's about to attack the other faction. He had to kind of come out of there. It was come out and play or go home, right? But yeah, this episode's slow. It feels to me like we could feel the weight of these events a little more if we could get like Dreadlock Biden have more screen time than to just show up and make like one or two emotional statements and then cry. That's all we got from that guy. Okay, so Eamon is still going by Prince. Allison reverts to Queen again because King Aegon succeeded her. She's got rank on Eamon, and she likes Otto, so Otto has nothing to gain by encouraging anyone to mess with her. I guess if you're Otto, you sit back and see who wins. We're talking about the former hand of the king, now unemployed. What do you think the hand of the king pulls down on unemployment, Bill? Do you think he got maximum unemployment? And was it like, fuck, my unemployment policy sucked. I wish I made more ESL, ESI.
Oh, Thresher.
Did we upgrade this actor, or are we simply allowing him to look older? He's Prince Yummy's older brother, right?
Yeah, the one that got ate
Yeah,
by the
one that
dragon.
got ate. Yeah, the dragon done ate him. What the hell?
Oh,
Bill,
getting
are
this
you having an emergency?
a storm warning. Yeah, severe thunderstorm.
Did you
And
just say you were getting a warm warning?
a haboo, and flash flood warning.
Are you safe?
Yeah, sure, I'm fine. I'm indoors.
Okay.
I don't know how what the net could go down, but no, I'm not dead yet. I'm
The
not
good
dead
news
yet.
is, the good news is, if we lose Outlaw, hopefully, obviously, the bad news is we'll be worried about him, but like his phone might still be able to get me a message. So if I lose, you text me. But once if we do lose Outlaw, this has been the slowest, most boring episode of this show yet. They didn't do the work they did the last time they had a very slow episode. This one's not going very enjoyably. It's too slow. What are you going to do? You're going to write an episode that's mostly going to be action free. They didn't cheap out by showing us the action again, but the catch up was more exciting than this episode. Now remember, like 10 or 12 minutes of this is going to be them unpacking how brilliant it is. And this week, I would ask that we not watch it. I do not want to hear the writer telling us that this was great.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah. When
I
this
hear
one's
you.
over, and you know what? That's for us to watch later, so we could do because it's time for us to do it. We have to do a mid-season discussion on this.
Wow,
And
Harrenhal is getting a makeover.
they needed it, right? They
Yeah.
asked everybody to get. They had a bake sale. Cookies made by Prince King Aemon, King Daemon.
He does not do well in this place.
He was told to stop sleeping in his haunted bed and won't do it. He's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. That is just self-inflicted, guys. Oh, look, Hotel California or the Overlook Hotel. Exactly. When will the episode be released? Lev Shinsky, if you go to the top of the chat, there's a link in the browser for you. It'd be great if you could watch on 2 devices, but if not, you're cool too. Anyone who can, you really be helping us out. Likes and follows appreciated as well. We're especially good to watch parties, but we do a lot of other stuff too. Join us. You will be well treated. This is really the story of like a resource management city builder combat game. It's like you've got to get everything right, and everything's kind of going on at the same time. You got to nail your diplomacy, your economy, your military, your level of control of society. Everything's sort of. It feels like he wrote this after playing tabletop gaming with friends and being very serious. And I don't know if they're leaning into the aesthetic or George kind of confessed it and it inspired them to do it. But every faction does have these excellent D&D tables, for lack of a better term. Someone needs to have sex. That's how slow this is. Please, like, fuck somebody. Let's see some boobs. Why is the queen his unsafe word? It's because she's his niece and his brother's widow and also his boss. That's what it is. So it sounds to me like he's going to try to make a land grab for a kingdom of his own so that he can kind of look his wife in the eye. That was weird. We just got a speed compression in the Cosme for a moment.
Yeah, what?
There was a moment of speed compression where it froze and then he waddled forward really fast. So the Blackwoods are part, and the Brackishes are the two factions that are feuding and throwing everything into confusion. And I believe this is Dreadlock Biden. Bam, bam, ba-da, ba, ba. I thought you were high, tied. I was surprised that you were here and were aware of it. Like,
I was. I wasn't.
my fellow Americans, Dreadlock Biden. And it's officially a case for the police. 187 views on Admiral Teagues. That's pretty cool. If half of everyone had hit like, that would have been better, but I'll take 10. More would be even better, but you're cool too. She How is he not aware that there was a very high chance she would die? He knows, and I'm pretty sure has seen the dragon that she was going up against. It's fucking huge. So now Dreadlock Biden has just tried to kind of, after being told by his better, smarter girl boss granddaughter that he sucks, he tells her she should be in charge, and she scoffs at him. And this woman's coming dangerously close to breaking one of my rules about what you should do if you're in this world. Please take our poll. What would you do? Would you touch the D&D table?
Sometimes the D&D table needs to be touched.
We got 6 votes on this, and 11 at Scientific. Please, people, take the poll. If you lived in Westeros, would you touch your faction's Dungeons and Dragons tabletop map? Yes, I like to live dangerously, 32%. No, I fear pain, 50%. People are believing what I'm saying because I think there's something to it. And I throw enemies into it to jinx them, 17%. So 67% believe it's bad. This guy's just asking to get killed. Wow, we really made a commitment to unfold this story really slowly today, didn't we? Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It seems like it's been going on for hours, hasn't it?
Honestly, we could have killed off a couple of peasants. Someone could have had sex. I hate to say it, but like they have won the war to condition us into modern audiences. Well, yeah, we'll watch the coming attractions for sure, but we're not going to watch the how we made this brilliant masterpiece episode because it's anything but. This episode is not terrible. The only thing I can say about this that doesn't bother me is, one, it makes me feel smart because I predicted that because it was the episode after you would pass the renewal date, they wouldn't try as hard. And boy, was I ever right. I'm 2 for 2 on that now, aren't I? I'm 2 for 2 on episodes that come after when you would have already paid for the renewal will be terrible. He just keeps sleeping in that super haunted fucking bed. So is he awake or not? Time for the river dance, guys. Hello and welcome back. And thanks to everyone who's coming through. Wow, almost 200 people. Could a few more likes would be really appreciated as we provide you with this unique experience.
Indeed.
We appreciate everyone watching on 2 devices. You are sweethearts. We love you for that. And we appreciate everyone because, like, if you close the browser, we don't get a view. Thanks, everybody. I see a few of you popped out of the theater to watch on 2. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. You really are. This is the most excitement we've had so far. I'm always doing is he's scoffing at the peasants, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Well, you know, last week was so action packed. You had to be toned down, and
I knew it. I was expecting this, and I wasn't going to be disappointed with a slower episode. But I feel like they abused that by going too. I mean, there was no narrative device they could have used that was inexpensive to advance this week's plot without being this boring. You know what I mean? This is really boring. This is bad TV. We're doing everything I hate in the show to try to get around making sense. It's like rather than deliver us anything, like we're getting edge talk, people being edgy but not showing any real reason why they would do it. I mean, yeah, these are long simmering rivalries, but in this episode, people really just, she has time to sit around, look into space, and have her hair done. And again, I don't want to sound like the kind of person who says we need a fight in every episode, because that's part of the problem over there at Disney and what makes all their shows suck. But we've seen other slow episodes of House of the Dragon, or we've seen other House of the Dragon episodes that weren't action-packed, where they were able to make it interesting. They're not pulling it off this time. I don't know if it's one too many episodes with no action or what, but they're not doing the most fantastic job. But hey, it's got to be almost over. We won't be watching this one twice. I mean, yeah, for the last few minutes, all we've done is people have run silently around abandoned streets. We've side-eyed each other a lot. We have slowed down the narrative to a crawl. And the last time we had to do that, we were at least able to, for lack of a better term, populate the episode with far more interesting events. Most episodes are where it got 7.5 to 8.5. This one is in danger of falling below a 5 because they didn't. It seems like they took for granted you would have renewed after an awesome episode, and they just don't care almost. I feel almost like
he's talking at the Iron Throne.
This is the best moment of this episode so far. It's a visual. I mean, yeah. We've got a few people who want to sit in that throne walking around it, sort of regarding it. Desirously, of course.
Oh, there he is. He's burned.
Really Here burned. We go. He's an Iron Maiden album. What's weird is his brother didn't finish him off, huh? Or did he not? Did someone else find him first? We really don't know where his brother was at with it. He had his sword out, but then again, we were in the middle of like the aftermath of a huge battle, so having your sword out, not crazy. I mean, we know his brother attacked him and did try to kill him, but I mean, I guess the other people showing up did prevent him from killing him outright. Or how do people? I guess they were so high above that the people on the ground don't really know that he fucked his brother over in that attack. It just to them it was just like a ball of fire. It's the only way we can assume, right? Otherwise, they would know what we know, that he fucked his brother over. And King Aegon knows this. He is a chicken nugget that's been dropped from a great height.
Always waiting.
Let's see. Seventh son of a. Let's see. You have to. Radioactive says you have to have the drama to do the action sequences together. I agree. I just some sacks or something in this episode. This one was real slow. Otherwise, just watch a live action arcade game. I agree. Although I'd say also like we're showing why gaming YouTubers do have an audience, right? And let's see. Yeah, he does look like an Iron Maiden album. I would say, yeah, seventh son of a seventh son. If not, I'd say Peace of Mind or Somewhere in Time as well. In his defense, in the heat of battle in the fog of war of a friendly fire, literally friendly fire incident. Yeah, yeah, I get it. That's a good one. No, but I don't think that the soldier. There's not a lot. There were a lot of witnesses to what went on, but maybe they didn't see it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Slain. Poor Melees. That was a good dragon, man.
Are there any dragons that we know of that make it all the way to the Game of Thrones time, or would those be maybe the dragonelles that are about to be born? You could just ride one. If you go by the TV show, only the eggs are around by the Game of Thrones. That's what I was wondering, because we've shown those eggs in a very loving way a couple of times. And we've shown how very, very careful we are with them. And we've seen one of them hatch and seen the eye of that dragon. So I'm figuring that's important. It hasn't happened yet. It's in the yet to come part, which we'll all enjoy. None too, and it can't come soon enough. The music in this show is so great. All right, now here's the part we love, the coming attractions for next week. And we're not going to hang with them smelling their farts this time.
Wow.
No, this episode didn't justify it.
That
It
was
wasn't
a long
terrible, but
episode.
it was very long. It was really long. I don't know if it needed to be as long as what we saw.
An hour, 4 minutes. That really dragged on for that hour.
It was really kind of event free. We spent a lot of time just shocked. We got the information. Maybe if they'd metered the information out slower, like we found out the king was around in about 10 minutes or less, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. This time they didn't handle the pacing that well, but they had to throttle it down twice in one season. Does that mean next week we cycle back to like what could be considered like a bipolar high?
Perhaps. Sorry.
All right, let's see if there's any coming attractions, but we're not sticking with the smelling the farts section. So here we go.
What?
Ooh, he looks messed up. All right, next week on Max, it looks like we're gonna have things that we just. This really felt like you've renewed. We've got you for 3 more episodes after this, so you have to renew again. So next week we'll give you back a little quality, but this week you're gonna have to go with what we've got, which is a very slow episode that's not going to give you quite as much story as you would have wanted for something this slow. I don't know, Outlaw. Go ahead. Your take?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little lost here.
It may have gone below a minimum speed limit. We'll rewatch this one as we always do, and we'll watch other people's reactions as we always do. But I think I'm more or less prepared to say they broke some kind of universal speed limit in reverse. They were just like going too fast in the left lane. After what we saw, a little more like information would have been useful. They did a lot of show don't tell. Like no one was all that upset about the king. No one was enthusiastic about him winning, and no one was out there cheering about this great victory for their house. In the world of Dreadlock Biden, we saw him react, and then we went back to him at the end, and he basically, Dreadlock Biden was a big disappointment. He got girl bossed. His girl boss wife is gone, who went and fought instead of him. I was ready to accept that, but now Dreadlock Biden has again, and dare I say it's time for a cognitive test for Dreadlock Biden, because he sent his wife out there. She's gone. And now while he's moping around, his daughter girl bossed him back into like knowing what's going on. And he's like, I'll make you the ruler. And I think she seems to have scoffed at it. That nobody gives final answers in the world of House of the Dragon, but she seems to have scoffed at the idea that of giving him any sort of
I can only hope next week gets a little bit more action-packed, you know?
Or at least unfold the story in a way that was less boring. We had a lot of just like, in an era where the last thing you want to do is have feelings in hallways, we went into a few hallways and we talked about our feelings. Now, while it wasn't as bad as some shit we saw, it was still, maybe it wasn't feelings in hallways. Maybe they made it as high as emotions in corridors, but it was what it was. And I mean, has the show earned doing this by one set of, views? I'm sure a lot of people will defend it and say that, yes, it deserves to be this slow. And I'd be among the people who'd say you're not crazy to say that, because I do realize that if we mandated action every week, we would only have Disney style shows. But, and I do, and guys, take into account here, we mod and do a little bit of YouTube work and have stuff that we have to do technically while we're bringing this to you. So, yeah, maybe I missed some nuance here and there. And this is not like the shit takes that we're going to have on our next show, Teague and Bill and Teague's Bogus Journey, where we watch the Acolyte on Tuesday, where we'll finally end that horror story.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Thank God. And then there's 2 more of this.
Hey, and then Cobra Kai starts this Thursday.
I think that might be fun to get in on. Cobra Kai, I can't commit to fully though. I'll be here for some, not all episodes. But
I was just stating for those who were wondering, Cobra Kai returns on this Thursday. The final season, the first 5 episodes.
The plan is if I miss an episode of something, just watch Bill and I'll put it through my community tab if you don't catch up with him right away, so you could stay in with what's going on, and I'll tweet out about it and try to community tab it. But it's a chance I might miss one House of the Dragon in a couple of weeks, and it looks like we made it from beginning to the end of Acolyte without me missing any of it. Oh, happy day! Oh, happy the world that I lived so. Let me tell you, I live such a good life, man. Let me tell you about my lawyer. He's such a good lawyer that he got me out of watching some of this fucking Disney stuff. But I'll regret missing Hot D. And I saw Az talking about it this morning. He was the one I got the term from. He's still calling it Hot D. And he's like, pretty excited by it. I think everybody, even in that circle of people, made mention of things fell apart real fast for Game of Thrones, so we don't want to get out too far endorsing this show just in case. The shadow of Game of Thrones last 2 seasons just hangs over this. And was Wheel of Time related to this and not work out at all right away? Or is that its own little story?
I don't know.
I thought there was George R.R. Martin, but I don't know if it's part of this world. Let's see, guys. Well, we thank you all for being here for Bill and Teague's excellent adventure, where we went to Westeros.
I'm a little bit under the weather, and plus going through some weird net issues. And anyway, we'll get it all fixed up. So.
Sorry, guys. I'll put him on the Force charger and charge him back up with Force energy. We have some kyber crystals over here that we'll use to get everything back in shape, and it'll be just like the cat's pajamas all over again. There you go. Yeah, I didn't know what you're doing with that. I thought we were coming forward to close out.
I don't know what happened.
You know what? I don't want to go out on a limb and make any predictions about next week, because this week, we saw honestly, it was just, there was not much more to be said. I could sum this week up just by saying it was more or less a very long and slow look into the implications of the aftermath of this fight. And it looks like Alicent is going to be back calling the shots for that faction while her brother gets better, because there's precedence. She had been monarch before for a little while until he came fully of age, right? There was a period of time there where she got to call the shots. So she knows what she's doing.
I definitely need some more Matt Smith badassery and saying
without the cursing,
multiple 4-letter words,
Yeah, no, there was no Matt Smith cursing again this week. It really is. Like, is it supposed to show he's not happy, like he's not living life? There's 8 votes, guys. The poll's 56 minutes old. Give you another minute. But it seems like people do feel the D&D tabletop map is dangerous in this world. Some people would throw their enemies into them to jinx them, to the tune of 25%. And then some people like to live dangerously. They would touch the table. And some say, "No, I fear pain." Bill, which would you do? What would you do with the faction D&D table?
Well, I'd always have somebody else touching the pieces and never touch it myself.
I would hire someone to move the pieces.
Definitely have somebody move the pieces for you.
I like what Radioactive says. Those eggs would make some great omelets. However, they're spicy hot. The Dragonelle eggs, because it's a word. Baby dragons are called Dragonelles. We know that, right? So I think I'm correct in using it, unless he has his own specific Westerosian term. But one of the things I did pick up from the research is our pal King Aegon doesn't really speak High Valyrian as well as everyone else. He was being a drunken asshole and a fuck off as a kid when he was supposed to be learning it. So he could barely communicate it, so he's not articulate. That may have affected his dragon handling as bad as anything else that happened to him as far as this episode went. It did not help him that he was drunk when he went into battle. His brother completely jumped and jacked him, though. Completely jumped and jacked him.
I'm surprised that he even had a dragon that he would have a 5G path with,
We found, listen, everybody who read the book seemed to scoff at the idea that if you were drunk, it would affect your dragon. It's just the 5G thing is you and your dragon syncing up. I don't know, like a friendship level 2 or whatever it might be. But you're just controlling your dragon poorly because you're drunk. He was at a disadvantage. My concept was if they had a shared mindset with the dragon, also have like bad perceptions, because he just did not distinguish himself in any way in that battle. He wasn't doing so great against Rhaenys. She was probably going to get the better of him. And he also seemed to be fighting without skill, because like they made a point of showing her readjusting the straps on her dragon saddle, and he was just strapped to the back of his dragon like a baby to its dad's back. You know what I mean? Like just strapped down to its spine. And like maybe in the books they tell us he has poor line of sight because of it. Let's see. Josh Street says, Teague, that little dragon that we've seen just the eye of is the last of the dragons, no bigger than a cat. When you say that, do you mean that now all dragons will get bigger, or that dragon is going to stay cat-sized, or that's the last of the dragons born that way? Could you just clear that up for me, buddy? But I don't know. I didn't unenjoy this episode. Our job is to commentate on it as it goes live. Then we go back and we experience it again. And by the time you see us, we've had a chance to have a more sober watching of it. Modding for you guys and hosting for you guys is an absolute pleasure. It's our honor to be your Game of Thrones House of the Dragon entertainers for this evening.
Central. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly. We are House of the Dragon Central, the House of the Dragon Network. Bill and Teague's excellent adventure. Please hit the like and follow for my good friend Outlaw Bill, who I'm sure would be just thrilled if you did the same thing for me. It would be just
absolutely.
Yes. We are just capital fellows. We get along great, and you're not seeing us you're seeing us watching a great show where we get to have fun with each other and so what? This episode was slow. We know they're going to pay it off. I have faith they're going to pull it out. However, we did see that in one scene of one episode, they could self-destruct their whole franchise and go on a long downward spiral. So I didn't see anything today that was that bad, where they seemed to be self-sabotaging, laying down things that couldn't be paid off in the future, or over-promising. But we'll find out on our rewatch and our research when we see what the other House of the Dragon people think as we bring ourselves up to expert level. We do a lot of research on this one because it's fun. And some of it overlaps with our other show, which is on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? 6 p.m. Central Time. It's the Hackalite. We're sorry, guys, but we have to bring you the show. It's our job. You know what? I want to thank Radioactive for making me feel better about bringing you the show, because what he said was a couple other people echoed this. If I have the accreditations right, I hope I've attributed these comments right, but people have actually thanked us for bringing us the Acolyte so they could see for themselves how bad it was, so that no one could deny it. And I really think, like,
we gotta tell you how it all ends up, and say, geez,
that show is so bad.
My life could have been so much better if I'd just been doing something else. But no,
actually, though,
I endured the pain for you folks, you lovely,
you know
wonderful folks.
It wasn't that painful for me because our friends were with us, and I've always known that I would die of boredom alone. Like Captain Kirk. I always felt safe because you guys were with me. I've always known that I die of boredom from bad TV alone. And I just we got through this episode. It was fine. They didn't break their world, but man, like when a military parade marks time, usually you're like, wow, their uniforms are pretty good, or they're like, some guys start to twirl some rifles to distract you from the fact that the band's getting ready to play a different song. And I understand when we had to change acts, but someone could have gotten laid. There could have been some boobs. There could have been something weird. We've seen enough of it. Maybe we should have harvested some of the boob moments where Prince Aemond has his breakdowns and cries like a little bitch to another episode like this one, so we could have had some nudity in there just to move it along as a pacing thing. Since it's in the show anyway, could we have shown his weak moments? Was it narratively important to show him weak in that way and not do it maybe again? I mean, I realize that we're up against being gratuitous, but none of this is on regular TV.
And if you were watching on Rumble, thank you for watching.
I did not put it through the Rumble, but thank you.
I got it on Rumble over there.
You're not supposed to say Rumble on YouTube, because then they nerf your signal according to Culture Casino. So you really should. Yeah, you should call it the Green Band, or
I didn't know that.
I call it Bumble. Well, Culture Casino has reiterated it 3 or 4 times, and I don't need someone that smart to tell me more than once. So the fact that he said it more than once means that he really believes it. So we're going to be going with Culture Casino rules and not using that term here. And hey, JT, good to see you. We're done talking about Hot D. Yeah, you're a little behind. I'm sorry. But you know what? I got to be honest. This was an episode that you could easily skip. You could easily skip this one. There was nothing vital in this. We found out that here's the vital information. Really, we got it in the first 10 minutes, though. So there's a lot of things about pacing. They could have, maybe it wasn't in the books, but what would have been wrong with maybe throwing someone in there to have a lot of
it was more filler, and that's my disappointment with this episode.
The thing is, we could have found out much later in the episode that King Aegon had survived. We find out everything that's of relevance up front, so maybe that pacing was a problem. King Aegon is alive. He looks like the album cover for Power Slave, or Somewhere in Time. Or maybe Peace of Mind. He's got some hair. They Vaderified him. There was a couple of Vader-like moments that were pretty cool. They were actually definitely a little bit inspired by Revenge of the Sith, but more gross, because when they pulled the pieces of metal off his burned body, they had some bloody molasses trailing behind it. As my broadcast partner just deals with the wonderful effervescence of the last episode, that, while not being terrible, sucked in the sense that we've seen a lot of shit and they did not manage to throttle it down. They kind of ground gears trying to go from Top Gear down to cruising. This story didn't cruise. We dropped down to an awkward idle, and then we managed to drop it in and out of gear. A herky-jerky episode with strange pacing. King Damon, King Aemon Help me out here with the names. Matt Smith's character will not stop sleeping in a bed made of haunted, soul-infested wood. Every time he does it, he has a trippy dream. He dreams about the Iron Throne. He dreams about weird shit. He sees the strange lady who works in the kitchen. And he'll throw his wife up against the wall like Darth Vader, but he will not lift a finger on this weird chick who keeps on kind of calling him out and calling him a dick.
Correct. So, what you
and
got?
He's sort of doubting himself right now. So I don't know what we could say about this episode, except doubt intensifies, lingering resentment intensifies. Alicent is back on the throne. Bill needs to make sure he's safe. Alicent is back in charge of that kingdom because that faction doesn't really have a leader while Aegon is out of it. Aegon is still king and alive. Prince Aemon seems poised to make another move. Did we see Otto Hightower? If we did, I was so bored I didn't make note of it. But Otto Hightower is still running around out there. He's been banished, but you know what? Alicent in charge again. She said he was one of the wisest men in Westeros, so she's going to want him back if she can get him. And I'd say they didn't give themselves a black eye messing up. It was just a very slow episode. Let's see, if I've gotten to everyone's comments. I think I did. Next episode is the Dragon Seeds. In his defense, in the heat of battle in the fog of war, friendly fire incident happens, and we get read that one. Next episode we get is the Dragon Seeds. I think we see the eggs in the coming attractions, so the eggs are still in the future. Although we've seen some eggs already, so we've made it clear that we are mass producing dragons. There is a paucity of dragons overall right now.
There is supposedly another episode where there's going to be massive dragon battles.
Well, we might time hop again because what's going on right now is we have some dragons in the pipeline. We keep hearing about them. We heard some stuff. Basically, this was the resource management video game episode of this, where it was like you had to go to the crafting table and put the elements together into a weapon. And we found out there's a couple of dragons in the pipeline. We talked about the stress it puts on the economies of this kingdom. We talked about how hard it is on the people of these kingdoms, and we saw that the food was looking a little gross and a little scarce. So that was the information we gleaned, that by perpetuating this conflict and not using diplomacy, they're making it hard on their people, and everybody might be one mistake away from losing power, which I guess that's the Game of Thrones way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone has a chance to make about 10 mistakes, and all they have to do is make just one of them. You've got to spin all 10 plates perfectly while making perfect size waves. If you don't spin the plates right, they all fall, and you've got chaos. If you make the waves too big, everyone comes after you. You make the waves too small, everyone comes after you again. You got to make perfect size waves and spin perfect plates. That's the world that George R.R. Martin gave us. Well, in closing, I guess we'll see you again on Tuesday for Bill and Teague's bogus journey. The Acolyte ends. Any predictions for that one? I predict that they chose the ending this week from two different endings.
I guarantee that I may probably do a rant, and I think I feel a rant coming on.
Okay.
And I have multiple colorful metaphors, because I'm gonna unload everything I got on that stupid show,
and Rohan will answer.
Yes.
Ride now, ride to glory in the world's ending.
In my parting words, be excellent to one another. Party on.
We love you all.
And
bye, guys.
We'll see you on the next one. Good night.
Bill and Teague's Excellent Adventure, House of the Dragon, Episode 5 coverage. Take it easy, guys. We love you all.
Later.
The power of many.